All right, all right, all right. Peace to the gods. Current affairs. Current affairs. Your audience like and subscribe. And of course, we're gonna have that PDF for you today. So all donations are welcome. Share these videos if you can, and help us grow. And I always warn my viewers when I do these live recordings, well, they're not actually live online, but they're live when I'm in my home. I may be interrupted at any time by my daughter with autism. So bear with any interruptions. And let's just get on with it. In the news today, all kinds of stuff is happening. But let me introduce you to the so-called PDF for the day, or the PDF of the episode. And you all know that I accept the donations of $1 for these PDFs, and any amount is acceptable for donations to help support the show. So don't be shy. Send something on up in here. Now, as far as the PDF for the day, we're gonna go with this one and see how that works out for us. And hopefully it'll be interesting enough for you to use. This is called is the robber barons or captains of industry. And this PDF is about 12 pages from the overview, and it'll give you some interesting information about what you don't know about the world you live in concerning bankers, the rich versus the poor, and how you're being manipulated by these people and the ancestors of these people, the children and the grandchildren of these people that's still carrying on their legacy over America in the banking and financial system, making sure that you are a minor under the law concerning dealing with these debt notes, never understanding uh, your place in the world. And then they done made it clear to you in many other ways, over and over again, that it is the rich versus the poor. And if you support the rich, you are fighting a war on the opposite side because you are not the rich, but yet you support them and you do everything you can to keep their system in place so the poor stay poor and the rich stay rich. And your dumb ass is still rich, still poor as fuck, even though you got a few trinkets. You down for the robber barons and their way of thinking. So you are part of the problem. Those that are miseducated and uneducated, this is the distraction factor. And I'm showing you that you're being distracted and how you're being distracted and what you're being distracted of. Just like I'm about to be distracted right now by my daughter, which I mentioned. Uh, so everything is everything. And if you get this PDF and it doesn't resonate with you, then hey, you weren't the type that was supposed to be anything other than the sucker sheep. One of those that follow along with the masses and never turn and say, wait a minute, this don't look right, this don't sound right. That's what the resistance really is. One person realizing that something ain't right. One person that does not just go along to get along uh, throughout history. And it is not these people that are taking advantage of you. They're not the ones. So I'm giving you what I'm giving you. And we're gonna let that be. Stop sharing and work it out from the gate. You know what I mean? As far as the PDF is concerned, like I said, uh, this is how we work it out. You get into the comments, you let me know you know what the robber baron PDF, and we'll work that out for you and send it on down to your email. And in case you don't know, this is my email address that I use for these purposes so that you'll be able to get it on these emails. But don't forget, you know, Cash App is available, $1 donation, and we accept donations as well. So let's see what we can do about getting into this ground news report. Well, forgive me, I'm going backwards. And these distractions do wreak havoc in your motions and your movements, and have you doing things you ain't supposed to be doing. But while we at it, I just leave that on the screen and give you an idea of what these robber barons are doing to you. Take note and pay special heed to some of the pages in this PDF and let it resonate with you, really, because we don't seem to realize a lot of the times what we're doing when it comes to allowing ourselves to take the sides in society of these people, because that really does make a big difference in our overall well-being as life progresses forward for us and our children and our grandchildren and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So now I use Ground News, and I try to tell people to use Ground News. This is a pretty popular, and I'm not an advertiser, and I hope that I don't get into any deep peril because I didn't research this, but I try to bring you what I utilize in terms of my ability to be able to resonate with this. So, Governor Josh Shapiro's family evacuated after arson fire at Pennsylvania governor's residence on Passover night. This is what's happening in the era of Trump. So you can go over here and get you some accurate real-time news. And I'm not going to go through all of it with you, but I'm going to cite a few reports myself. So bear with me so I can actually be able to read this. And I just put it on the screen so that you can see one of my sources of news that I use when I give you reports. Okay. So if you don't know about some of these outlets, you need to get out of that ecosystem of Fox and go ahead and start going online. Reuters, Reuters News. International news, one of the news feeds that feeds most of these people out here. They give them their international news for sure. And by doing that, you get a broader view of what the world is. Because as I keep trying to tell you, all information and education comes through the United States Corporation, and they don't want you really to know anything. They're going to subvert that information, okay? Bernie Sanders makes a guest appearance at Coachella to introduce Clario. Not sure what that is. Stephen A. Miller says that he has no choice but to consider running for president. Now, Stephen A. Miller, not Miller. Miller is already in the White House doing this reverse racism. So now white men are being discriminated against, especially rich white men, if you hadn't noticed. But like Elon Musk, they just discriminate against him, making him lose some of his wealth. That's just terrible. It's a terrible thing. Stephen A. Smith, correction, says, and that's the commentator, the sports commentator. And I don't know how that's going to work out, but he has a pretty popular following. And if a reality TV star like Trump can sway the poorly educated on that rich agenda, because that's all that is. And if y'all pay attention, y'all should really pay attention. Over the course of the economic spectrum, Republicans have only been good for the wealthy and super rich, and foreign policies and warmongers and weapons manufacturers. That's what they have been good for. And because you can go back to the slavery days and you don't seem to be one of those so-called Asiatic people that know who you are, you never look at any history beyond slavery. So your whole perspective is skewed and tore up because you were over here looking at the spectrum of, your whole existence under the United States corporation from slavery forward. You don't see anything that happened past or behind slavery or before slavery or before your people were ever slaves on this land, and you don't care about that. You just chasing, the United States corporation and then ancestors of slave talking about give me equality and eventually I want what you got. And see, that's the insanity. Trump exempt phones, computers, and chips from new tariffs. That's one of the headlines. Russian missiles strikes on Sumi leaves 31 dead during Palm Sunday. And see, this is not unusual that we have all this killing going on all around the world. People of Asiatic descent being murdered and torn apart. Our oppression is a lot different from theirs, but it could shift at any time. We could be the ones getting bombed over here, tore up like the Palestinians. Don't think that can't happen. So this is why we bring you these types of things. Iran and the U.S. Began indirect nuclear talks in Oman amidst a regional tension. And this is international news. The types of things that you don't get in your social ecosystem, and apparently you don't want to know about it. But I'm going to bring it to you because I'm telling you, this is why they're giving you all of that nonsense entertainment that's putting you to sleep and making you happy, releasing them pheromones and you giggly and giddy, thinking you are aware because your knowledge is of current affairs and entertainment and social issues, and you know nothing about the world you live in. So listen carefully. Columbia University activist, that was Muhar Khalid, if I'm pronouncing the name right, can be deported. The immigration judge is dealing with that, and I don't know if y'all heard about that because that's an international situation dealing with the U.S. as well. A federal judge refuses to block immigration enforcement operations. And where is this? Let's get a little deeper into this report. Well, actually, I have to renew my subscription, and that may take me a little time, but it's a subscription, and it's worth the subscription. And it would take me a few minutes to get off of the news and the headlines in order to do that. But I just wanted to bring you some information today because these videos have to keep coming out, and you need to come on and do your part in uh, extending the voice of our people in a way that we have our own. Stop trying to be a part of their political environment and start doing for yourself. Show by example. Don't be running around here asking for things. If you need food or you need a source of food, then start creating a source of food so that you don't have to rely on them and be up in these Walmarts. There were a lot of suggestions that we could take and we could do, but we got to start empowering ourselves by correcting our status so that we can be able to hold and be landholders and not under the corporation of taxation and the wealth keeping the poor poor and the poor encouraging these agendas by doing everything they can to make sure that the status quo stays the same, that they dumbasses stay poor, supporting these rich motherfuckers, and the rich motherfuckers just continue to keep brainwashing your dumbass with things like Fox News, TikTok, and the rest of that bullshit that you idiots just won't fucking leave alone and put that shit down and see that it's only a social issue that's putting you to sleep and you don't know anything about the world you live in. So you got to go to other sources. Stop playing these fucking games with these people that's trying to tell you things that you talking about. Well, I didn't know that happened. Go to some other fucking reputable sources because they still out there. Don't let them fool you into thinking, certain portions of government don't fucking work. Certain portions of government have been put together in the manner in which these things are implemented over the course of thousands of years, so they are proven to work. And then when it comes to you not understanding what you are dealing with and being uh, oppressed due to lack of knowledge and them keeping you miseducated and uneducated, you have to step out of that and do it yourself. Do your due diligence. Find out what is, and what ain't, and stop asking people questions. If you really want to know the source of any freaking thing, go within. Stop seeking for the source outside. But when you start talking about the ecosystems of the news and what's going on in public. Stop listening to morons tell you things that you can't confirm, and then go to other sources. There are so many sources out here. We in the information age. Stop being biased and sticking to people that you like, and start getting some information that you don't like because it's fucking true. Peace to the gods. I don't know how y'all living, but I know you all dying to get the truth. Some of y'all. And that's all I gotta say. Peace to the gods. This is the Distraction Factor. Please go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and drop me something on the Cash App, and we'll see you next time. I'm out. It's time for me to go, y'all. Subscribe.